Hello and welcome back to another episode. And before we get into today's topic, which is a comment on yesterday's video, I really want to ask you a question. So please put it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I'll tell you what I think towards the end of the episode, and please remind me if I forget, because I have a habit of doing that. But my son, my second child, my eldest works at Kmart. She's got a part-time job there. My eldest could apply for work around about November last year, so he's just turned 14. But he's got no motivation. So he applied for a couple of jobs, he's done a couple of interviews, and he's shown no interest since then. Me being me, I've been looking for opportunities for him in the sense the local takeaway store down the road, the fish and chip shop, they were recruiting, just a mum and pop, fish and chip shop. He had no interest in doing that because he didn't want to do that apparently because it's not cool. But I suppose let me know in the comment section below, do you think I should make him work for me, taking photos of my stock on a daily basis? I'll pay him probably around, just say, $10 an hour, which is about $6 American for those that are watching over there, probably about £4 or £5 an hour. Because, like I said numerous times, we're doing the Japan challenge, and I've basically told the kids, well, the eldest too, that they need to pay for their airfare to get over in Japan. They aren't paying for it. I'm paying for it, right? However, they don't need to know that, and they're not going to know that. So if you're my niece, Sarah, you're not allowed to tell them that. That's the top secret. But I'm trying to use that to motivate them. So I've told them they need to save $1,000 each to get the plane ticket. That $1,000 will either go towards my eldest, for a brand new car, her first car, or she can use it for spending money in Japan. I don't particularly care. I just want them to be motivated in the sense that they're both chomping at the bit to go to Japan, but the motivations is that Japan's next year, and there's a lot more shinier things this year. But my son Riley, he doesn't have any income coming in, so no idea what he's doing. My daughter gets paid $20 an hour, so to get him motivated, like I said, I'm going to pay him $10 an hour to photograph all my stock and do all those different things. But let me know in the comment section below what you think. Should I shake him and drag him and kicking and screaming, taking photos, or should I just say, hey, look, buddy, it's your life, do what you want, go from that way? Let me know. All right, so yesterday on the back of the video, I did talk about going to visit my new friend, the Dungeon Master, which is not BDSM related or anything Kevin Commonwealth Picker related. It's just a guy that is very passionate, I suppose you could probably say. I'll leave it at that. So Storyteller did say two things, like LARPing, which is live action role play, which is pretty much case in point for this gentleman. He did reach out to me. I think I did mention in yesterday's video. He did reach out to me as his Dungeon Master name and addressed himself as such. I did have another one. I'm pretty sure it was Bax, but I might be wrong on that. not to annoy Dungeon Masters, because they'll probably cast some kind of spell on me. But getting back to the story merchant, we'll go with that. Hopefully it's right. I'll pop up the question here. But basically he's asked what my thoughts are, and that's a dangerous thing. Never ask me my thoughts, because I'll tell you straight away what my thoughts are in regards to cherry picking. So bulk lots. Do I go and buy the full bulk lot, which you've probably already worked out what the answer is, or do I just buy single items and all those different things? What it really comes down to, and you need to let me know what your ideas are and what your thoughts are in the comment section below. My thoughts are, it really depends on how they advertise it, right? If they say, hey, look, for example, old mate Dungeon Master with his robe and his potions around his waist. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry if you play D&D. I have no issue with D&D. I just think it's hilarious. Quite passionate, right? Got literally no issue with it. I would probably, if I was born in a different era, I probably would have been a D&D person as well. But long story short, so he reached out and said to me, hey, I've got all these books. Some of these books go for maybe $29 plus post. And some of them I've sold this one late last year for $125. So realistically, there's a wide gamut of books available in here. So I paid on average $20 each, right? So so there's 25 of them, so $500 for the lot. He did throw in some other stuff as well, like the starter set and that thing I showed you yesterday. I still have no idea what it is. So I've just listed a couple then. I think I've listed about 3 or 4. It's about $350 value so far. So I've still got to go through the bulk of them. I just brought this one in because I already just listed this. I pretty much sold similar off my previous one. I will talk about this one in a little bit for a particular reason. But going back to the topic, and Alex, if you're still watching, if you persevered 3 or 4 episodes of me just talking crap, mate, I go with the flow in the sense that if old mate Dungeon Master had said, "Hey, look, I've got all these books. Are you interested?" They're $20 each. Go from that way. I probably would have cherry picked, if he had given me the option. And I really struggled because I really sit on the fence in regards to this one. So if he had said they're $20 each, go for gold. But if he had turned around and said, "Hey, look, I'm selling a bulk lot for $500. There's 25 books." I would have just taken that bulk lot on face value, right? I would have made the deal on the premises that there was a substantial return on investment purchasing them all. If he wanted a bulk lot and basically he was willing to separate them, I probably still would have bought the bulk lot, and I will touch a little bit in a second about why that is. However, if he had them listed, and I have done this previously, so I'm one of those jerks, if he had it listed on Facebook Marketplace, like just all laid out, and said Dungeons and Dragons books $20 each, I would have reached out and said, "Hey man, I want Rise of Terramet. I want I only know this one because I read it. Didn't read it, but Dungeons of the Mad Mage and Tomb of Annihilation. And cherry pick the good ones. I don't know what they are. Terramet one's good. I would have done that. So because he's given the option, then it is not my issue to I suppose and this is what the story merchant was getting at yesterday, was that basically what will happen is resellers will cherry pick the good ones and leave the buyer with the crap. I personally tend to like to purchase in bulk deals where, for example, if in that scenario where he's got them all laid out for $20 a piece, I would say to him, and I had this happen when I was trying to negotiate a Skylander bundle yesterday, I would reach out and say, "Hey mate, look, I'm interested in all your Dungeons and Dragons books. My brother plays Dungeons and Dragons." If that's a nod to yesterday, we'll touch on that in a second. How much for all of them? And if he comes back and he had just say 25 books there, $20 each, he come back and said, "Hey, you take them all for $350. I would have said, "Yep, let's do it. $350 to $400. Yep, let's do it. Cool." Because I comp as quickly as I go. So what I normally do is, I've said before, is I reach out, excuse me, and I say, "Hey, look, I'm interested. How much for all of them?" You might come back and say $400 for intensive purposes. I'll say, "Cool, I'm very interested. I just need to speak to my brother because he's up in Newcastle. He's the one I'm buying him for because he's a D&D nut." I know a lot of people took offense to that yesterday. I'll get back to you in 5 minutes. Cool. So what I do then is that buys me 5 minutes to go through the sold listings, go through and make sure it's a good return on investment. Don't do this to everyone. Don't do it for everything. Do it into something that that niche. For example, Skylanders. I can pick them out straight away. So I had a few people reach out to me today regarding Skylanders. Thank you. I'm going to get back to you hopefully tonight. One's a definite, in the sense I'm going to pick it up. The other one, I'm still pricing it. It's very, very, very high for what you're getting. Yes, it's a high piece count. It's over 250 pieces. However, his figure's a little bit too high because a lot of those figures are my $1.99 plus post ones. So I'm not paying $2 for a figure that I sell for $2, and let's face it, probably make $1.20 after fees and postage and all that other crap, promoted listings. So, excuse me, I try and avoid cherry picking and leaving people with junk as a basic rule. That's not to say I wouldn't. It really depends on the seller, to tell you the truth. It's these little idiosyncrasies that get me, right? So if they come back and say, "Hey, yes, it's available," or if they're I suppose a bit too blunt, or if they, lack of a better term, if they're a prick, or if they're not engaging with me, I probably will cherry pick just to be a equal prick. But generally speaking, I like to buy them in bulk because that gives me probably 25 books. It gives me 2 days worth of listings, right? And if my son kicking and screaming and sulking at the table he is at the moment, that would be a day's worth of listings for me, because I literally come home from work at 4:30. Sorry, I come get home about 5 o'clock a day, do the YouTube video, do the photos, start listing, and do all those. If he takes care of that before I get home, I just go straight to the YouTube video, straight to the listing, and it makes it infinitely easier for me. And then when it becomes infinitely easier for me, more cash comes through, and he gets paid as well, and hopefully motivates him to go get a job. Because not that all my photos are perfect, but yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist in the photos, in the sense I will teach him how to do it, and I probably will go through the memory card and delete the ones he didn't do properly and make him do it again, because I'm a prick. But it is what it is. But why do I prefer the bulk lots over the cherry picking? Case in point with the Dungeon Master, right? I didn't want to go through and say, hey, look, I'll take Terramet and I'll take, Tomb of Annihilation, because I know they're worth $300 a book. They're not. And I can get them for $40, and then he's stuck with all the stuff that's only $5 a piece. And the reason why I do that, speak English one day. One of the reasons why I do that for is because he's a dungeon master, and not beside the fact he could probably turn me into a frog, or maybe he could make me lose some weight. I'll have to reach out to him after this. He works in a guild. I did some research last time. Look at me go. So basically they operate in a guild or a party. I'm not too sure what the proper terminology is. I found different websites with different things. I probably did stumble across a couple of Dungeons and Dragons BDSM websites by accident. But like I was saying, is that he's a dungeon master. He knows other dungeon masters because apparently they travel in packs or something. I have no idea. Just making stuff up as I go now. So, when another dungeon master, sells or looks at, exiting the market or exiting the game because he's no longer interested in doing it, guess what? He reaches out. He goes, hey, look, Minion J, it's Dungeon Master Tori here, and my friend Dungeon Master Judder wants to sell his Dungeons and Dragons collection. Is your fictitious brother up in Newcastle still available or still purchasing books? Yes, he is. You know my price point of $20 a book. Yeah, as long as they're in the same condition. These are like new. They're phenomenal condition. If they're in the same condition, I'm paying $20 a book and more than happy to do it. That gets your name around there. If I'd have gone in there and cherry-picked... Oh, it's a beagle. I love beagles. If I'd have gone in there and cherry-picked, 2 or 3 books, possibly I'd never heard from Dungeon Master Tori again. But he knows that, I'm good for it. I come up with the cash. I meet him on the time that he pretty much stipulated to me he was available. That's how you build connections. If you cherry pick, you kind of lose that opportunity. I know people do all these different things, and a majority of the people I source off are only one-off occasions, right? So that's not to say, hey, look, you build your rapport and build your relationships from that way. Cherry picking to me, for the most degree, is for op shops, thrift stores, flea markets, all those different things. If I'm buying a Facebook Marketplace and the entire bundle justifies the cause or justifies the price, I'll probably just bulk lot it, then work it from that way. Because like I was saying, is that I could probably cherry pick the ones I wanted out of here and probably flick the books back onto Facebook Marketplace for $25 each, make a $5 profit for a book that aren't advantageous to sell on eBay. So that's another thing you can look into as well. Just don't be limited by eBay. If you're in America, list Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Australia, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, and it's depending on the size of the year. God, I'm kicking goals today. Depending on the time of the year, these may be more in demand. So currently in America, Helo's World, Chris sent me another video of snowing. Very jealous because the air conditioner died at work today and it was like 40 degrees Celsius. So I have no idea what that was. However, the fact is that I was losing weight by just sweating. So he's in the snow. There's a good chance that people may want to do Dungeons and Dragons because they're locked at home because they're cold. You've got Christmas time. You've got Australia. You've got 2 seasons, right? So if you've got international post on, you can sell them to America now. Or when it rolls around in a couple of months, it gets really cold in Canberra, as Kay reminded me yesterday. Sell them here. So people obviously go from that way. Games nights, like I said, that gaming convention or the board game conventions on the moment. So there is probably a lot of interest in Dungeons and Dragons. Before I forget, Tirament, there is a series on Netflix. Amazon Prime, whatever Amazon streaming service is called, Secret Level. I don't know how I came across it actually. It might have been a YouTube video that came up. So secret level, right? The first episode is actually about Tirabat. I'm not going to ruin it. Fantastic. If you're a gamer, strongly suggest you watch secret level. I really enjoyed the Dungeons and Dragons one, surprisingly. It just reminded me of Lord of the Rings, just really high level animation, only about 15 minutes each. Pac-Man one, I'm still having nightmares about the Pac-Man one. There's a Mega Man one. There's one called Sifu. I've never heard that game before, but there's all these different games. I've only cherry-picked the episodes that I wanted to watch that interest me, or I know what the game is. Spelunky, I'm a big lover of Spelunky, I think that's how you pronounce it. One of the episodes was about that as well, so I had flashbacks. Oh, I remember that. I get all the references. Bit of a nerd, but not a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I'm not wearing a cape and a staff. Octopus costume, possibly. Not that I would, but definitely not a cloak and a staff. But going back to what I was thinking with Riley earlier, my stance is, and I think I might have already let the cat out of the bag, I'm going to make him do it. Generally speaking, my wife is quite against me holding the kids hostage, I suppose, like, let it better term. But I think she's coming to the thinking, the reasoning I am, is that he's not showing any motivation. He's not, generating any income for himself. I would be infinitely happy if I would give him $50. If he come to the thrift shop with me on a Saturday, or the op shop on a Saturday, once a week, once a month, I would give him $50. If he bought what he wanted to, listed it on eBay, and rolled the cash like that, I'd be equally happy, and more than happy to give him $50 to start him off, and obviously walk him through it as well. I'm not going to let him flounder and fail like his two younger sisters do. They jump in the car, bring their money with it, and a couple of days later they got $100, $150, depending on how much they spend. So, like I was saying, is my wife is actually coming around to my way of thinking, saying, hey, well, look, no, enough's enough. He's currently on school holidays. They go back to school February. I'm not too sure. He's been going to bed at 2 o'clock at night, been waking up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, literally vegetative, not leaving his room, playing his new computer, doing nothing. Everyone else is, my eldest, which is only a year older than Riley, is looking after the kids. So she's, working part-time, learning to drive, looking after the youngest too, whilst he's, probably living his best boy life, like no different to what I probably did at his age. I had a job. So he will be working for me. Like I said, I'll be paying him $10 an hour. I was going to match him with Emma's wage, which is just shy of $20 an hour. But once he gets down and gets it properly and gets it down pat, he's going to have it pretty easy, right? Like, as long as the photos are done perfectly to my standard, that's all he needs to do. He might have to test some games later on, like Mega Drive games, test some CDs, take some photos of that way, and get paid $10 an hour for it. And it probably, depending on the stock level, Skylanders, like I said, I've already got variation listings for those, so it's a matter of counting the numbers. He may even graduate to that, so I'm probably looking at about that 10 hours a week. When he's back at school, maybe 5 hours a week, so he just generates some income from that way. Then hopefully he gets to the point where he's like, oh my God, I don't want to work for Australian's version of Commonwealth Picker. Like, $1, save $1 and spend $1, whatever it is, with my own BDSD Dungeon Masters. But like I was saying, that's my stance. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with it, if you're strongly adverse against it. Generally speaking, I had a job from 9 months. Excuse me, that's beside the point, right? But like I was saying to my wife, is my parents made me go out and get a job as soon as I could. When I finished school, they actually drove me to the recruiting centre in Sydney and pretty much left me like an orphan at the military. So, not that I'm going to do that with my kids. They charged me board, and this is not a sob story. This is something I'm trying to put onto my son and say, hey, look, you've got it easy. I'm not charging your sister board. I'm not, breathing down your neck trying to make you do things you don't want to do. You are going to bed at 10 o'clock. You're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're going to do maybe 2 hours of photographing a day, and probably and go from there. Like the rest of the day, I do not care what you do. You help around the house when we're at work. That's it. There's really no difference to what you're doing now. But that's my stance. Hopefully, I gave a bit of a clear picture as to why I don't cherry pick in the the books a majority of the time. Like I was saying yesterday, and obviously Graham hasn't watched my video regarding the Mega Drive stuff. I I suppose for lack of a better term, is I want to build relationships and I want to win. I know it sounds egotistical and all those different things you want to say. Like I was saying yesterday, where that guy had his bucket of Mega Drive 2 and the Genesis, if you're in America, and probably 15, 20 games for $50. It was on a local Facebook page, and it was like a wall of comments, and it was pending. He said it wasn't, but like I said, it's really much for muchness. So I just reached out to him and said, "Hey, look, I'll give you $250 for the lot." He asked me if I was serious, and I said, "Dead serious." Because one or two games will actually pay for the lot, right? And went and got it straight away. Like, I knew the market well enough. There was one particular game in there that I did want from my childhood. Bit of a sob story before we finish up for the day. Don't worry, I'm not crying. I'm just almost choking. So basically, long story short, is that my friend, I had a Mega Drive. I had a Master System. If you're in Australia, for those people in America, Nintendo, like the NES, wasn't as big in Australia. Well, it wasn't as big as where I was when I grew up in Australia, so late 80s, early 90s. We all had Sega Master Systems, right? Which is contrast to what it was in America. So my friend, he got a Mega Drive. I think it might have been 92, 93. I'm not too sure when the Mega Drive came out. He got a Mega Drive. We went around there, and his older brother brought out this game called Truxton, which is like just one of those old arcade plane flying games, where you shoot up into space and all those different things. Long story short, for many, 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 many years, I never knew what it was called. I never came across it again. I've been looking for years and years and years and years what it is. I just remember the cover art, and that's all I remember. So, like I said before, I've got an arcade machine over there. I do have my own PCBs, which are just the big game boards, but it's also got one with 500 games in there. And just by accident, I stumbled across the arcade version of the game, played it. That game was in the bundle. And the reason why it's a bit sentimental to me is the elder brother that, because my friend and his brother was a year apart. So the elder brother used to play with us as well. He actually died of pancreatic cancer a couple of years ago. So this game kind of brings back those memories that I used to have, sitting down with all four of us, just, playing Truxton, for hours and hours and hours and hours on a Saturday afternoon and a Sunday morning. So, so it's good. So like I said, I've been looking for that for very many years. Price fluctuates, seems to go more overseas. So I have priced it over that overseas market rate in Australia. And if mine does sell overseas, I'll probably pick up the ones local and sell them overseas. And also it had a copy of Earthworm Jim 2. I think this game was brand new. I actually peeled off the little sticker, the Sega sticker, which was covering the case, to close it. But it basically, when I peeled it off, there was, it looked brand new. Like, literally, there's no other way to say it for this game. So I did price that quite high. I think that I listed it at about $250. So really, I'm just going to probably maybe bundle the cheaper games together, or maybe put them on Facebook Marketplace at $10, $15, $20 each, because there is a lot of crap in there. It came with a gun, like the scope, which is called a Menacer. I didn't even know a Mega Drive had the Menacer, or had a light gun at all. So that's in there, a whole bunch of light games, and all these different things. So in two months at the moment, I'm basically going on eBay to buy a AV cable for the Mega Drive, just to make the graphics a little bit better, take some photos, then basically move it on from there. Because I don't come across many Mega Drive games, never come across any Master System games. I'm not going to start collecting Mega Drive because, like I said, I never grew up with Mega Drive. I was either going around my friend's house maybe once a week or something like that. We played Truxton, Sonic 2, and maybe a little bit of other games. But the Sega Master System collection is still going. It's getting a little bit more harder because, like I said, I'm collecting primarily the 20 or 30 games that I had for the system myself. Then I'll start branching out for the games from there. But anyway, thank you very much for this rant session. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are. Would you cherry pick like I said before, if you had like it all skewed out, if you had the opportunity to cherry pick, if I had the opportunity to cherry pick, I probably would. I wouldn't feel bad about it. However, like I was saying, is that I would probably, my first go-to would be to get basically a bulk deal and go from that way, because that works both ways. Like, I get a bit cheaper in the sense I say, hey, well, look, if I pay $10 a book and if they sell for $30 plus post, I'm still making a comfortable profit margin, maybe at $10 to $15 a book. However, if he's, like a better term, a prick, and he goes back $20, and you know, I'll say, okay, I'll have Tyramid, I'll have the Tomb of Annihilation, I'll have a couple of other ones. Go over there, give him the money, and you know, not be slightly inconvenienced that he's probably stuck with the trash. And like I was saying yesterday, I was dealing with today or yesterday, I can't remember what it was. I was dealing with someone about Skylanders. He wanted $5 a piece, had them all laid out. I asked him if he'd post a Canberra. He said he would. Then he's like, okay, there's 27 pieces left. That's $120. Hopefully, no, hang on. But whatever it is, we'll say 22 pieces, $120, $110. I'm good at math and good at spelling, so there we go. So I said, oh, okay, but in the you know, like in your photo, it's got a lot more, because he didn't tell me that he already sold pieces. He goes, oh, I've already sold 26 pieces, and I'm like, okay, cool. Can you take me a photo of what you got left? The stuff he had left was the crap. Like literally, someone like a reseller went through there, cherry picked all the good ones, and has left him with the crap. And I said to him, I said, no worries, mate. But thank you for that. The reason why I didn't engage with him is because he was more than happy to sell me the stuff. And yes, I would have, before I transferred the money, I would have want photos and all these different things. However, there was, you really, really, really need to take it on face value before you commit to buying things. Make sure you're getting what you picture. Because I have been burnt before. My sister used to source for me locally where she is, where she would go, all right, you're going to go pick up these books. Then she'd get there, hand over the money, and she'll send me the photos from her. I was like, well, what about Tyramid? Oh, I don't know. Then she'd reach out to the lady. She goes, oh, no, I sold that separately. So not only did she charge me the price for the complete bundle, she actually was selling off games. In this case, it was a Nintendo 3DS games, whilst my sister was en route, taking them out and charging me the full price. So just hypothetically, $100 for 10 games. Ashley went there and got 7 games. Then the 3 games missing were like Totodici Life. I'm not too sure if that's about a $100 game. And like I said, she charged me $100 for all of them. The reason why I agreed to that for her is because I wanted the whole games. She did tell my sister that, yes, they're available. However, this is something you need to be mindful of. If somebody is sourcing on your behalf, you need to be very, very specific with what you want. I didn't get mad at her. I learned that lesson quite quickly, is that you need to open your mouth and double check what you're getting is what you're getting. And numerous times as well that I've actually driven down South Canberra, because picking up a 3DS lot for $100, a 3DS and 2 games for $100. Get down there and she's like, oh no, it's only $50. I was like, okay, why's that? And she goes, oh no, I already sold the 3DS. And I'm like, no, we agreed that 3DS and 2 games. Oh yeah, I sold it before you got here. So it does happen. My sympathy for those people, wanes. I got back in the car and just said, no, cool, see you later. I probably lost money. Oh, obviously I lost money because I came back empty-handed. Those 2 games would have easily been about $100, but it was just the principle, right? So there are a lot of people out there from a selling perspective that are either moronic or sleazy or cheating. I don't know what the right words you could use it. However, like I was saying, is that it works from both sides. So resellers will cherry pick, but on the flip side is that like I said before, is the people selling it really, 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 some of them are pretty scummy in their own respects. But anyway, that's enough for us today. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, all those other crap things you need to do. I really appreciate it. We're still on the road to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the week. We're probably about 2% of the way. So let us know. But like I was saying, is that we would love to have you subscribe and leave some comments. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I need to do the video, and we'll catch you next time.